Hello mate, and welcome to this very, very positive vlog. So I'm a little bit disappointed you didn't mention it in your Wednesday vlog, but on Monday, I did pass my driving test. Yes, I must be honest, that was one of the most joyous moments of my life so far. When I pulled over and the examiner said, "You've passed." That was such a good feeling. I only had 3 minor faults in the whole thing, and 2 of them were very avoidable. One of them was during my manoeuvre, which is the turn in the road. I'm usually so much better at them, it's just the nerves got to me when I was doing the one for my driving test, and my control was just a bit off. I managed to do it, but my control was a bit off. And the other one was a show me tell me question, and I completely got the one of them wrong. Well, actually no, I got it right, but I got the wrong question. I had to identify the engine oil, and I accidentally showed the brake fluid. I answered the brake fluid question right, but it's just the engine oil I answered wrong. So yeah, but I passed. 3 minor faults, really good. So now, well, yeah, officially I can drive. I just need insurance and a car. So yeah, you're looking at a full licence holder, even though I have not currently got a driving licence because I had to send it off and get it back last week, get 1 to 3 weeks. So yeah, in a few weeks I will have a full driving licence, which will look so good. Instead of having an L on it, I will have full licence. I'll be able to drive a car. It's my first big step into a larger world. I must say that the driving test was actually pretty simple. It was a lot less hard than I thought it would be, because yeah, I drove good, my usual standard, but I was expecting it to be, a lot harder, which, I'm not complaining at all. It was, really simple, good. Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed it towards the end, just driving, and just hope I can drive a bit more in the future. Right, so, yeah, your question about Simpsons or Family Guy. I'm not too familiar with Family Guy, and I used to watch Simpsons on a very regular basis when I was about 12, like about every day. I must probably have seen every episode made before 2010. Yeah, I must have seen every episode made before 2010 at least once, because I was a big fan of it. Obviously the new episodes aren't as good, but I'll still give them a fair judgment, even though I don't have much exposure to Family Guy. I'd say Family Guy is more funny, and the writing is better, and the characters are meant for a much more adult market. Obviously Family Guy sort of what's the word for it? I can't think the word for it, but it made the adult cartoon a viable television program. Simpsons, you could say it did it, but it was more for all ages. But obviously the fact that I'd not really seen Family Guy, I can't really give it a fair judgment. And I'd say Simpsons, even though it is less funny and it isn't written as well, I'd say from an outsider's view, even from an outsider's view, I'd say the characters are much more memorable, which is the best thing about The Simpsons in my opinion. The characters are the best thing. And Family Guy, from an outsider's point of view, I wouldn't know as many characters going in, even ratio-wise. I know Simpsons got like hundreds of side characters, but I mean like just the main ones. I do know what they look like, the Family Guy characters, but Simpsons, I know more of them. So yeah, it's tough for me to give a fair judgment, but it has to be The Simpsons. And I said about my driving test pass was the most joyous moments of my life, probably. I felt much better than did my GCSEs, because my GCSEs I passed with good grades, not great grades, so I didn't have that joyous moment, and I knew GCSEs weren't really going to serve me for the rest of my life. Driving is. And I can't really think of any other moments in my life that I was in quite as much joy. I'm trying to think. Oh, not really. Not really. So yeah, my question to you, Matt, what is the most joyous moment of your life? I'm guessing it may be when you finished a half marathon. But what is the most joyous moment of your life? Or was the most joyous moment of your life? Okay, so tomorrow sees the release of one of the movies of the year, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, the reviews right now aren't looking as good as the first. Still going to see it, but obviously we're going to take a look at the first one today because can't look at the second one right now. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is going to be my review. Right, Guardians of the Galaxy is Marvel Cinematic Universe property, and it's a comic which not many people knew about before the movie came out, and yeah, it does sort of, again, I can't think of the words today, it does make the point that some comic book fans seem to say, you have to be a comic book fan to enjoy comic book movies. It makes that statement false, because I've never read a real comic book in my life. Guardians of the Galaxy is a great movie, so that point is false. As the story does sound really wacky on the face of it. It is a young boy named Peter Quill who is losing his mother, and then he gets whisked away, and next thing you see, it's 20-something years later, and he is pretty much an intergalactic vigilante, steals things but for the greater good, doesn't really know what he's stealing them for, but one day he steals this orb which no one knows what it is, which apparently belongs to Thanos, and he wants it to rule the world, which is an Infinity Stone. And it's all that sort of Marvel complexity. I don't really know what the Infinity Stones are. I've got to get my mind up on Marvel, but yeah. And it's just a real quest to see if they can stop Thanos or Ronan from getting the Infinity Stone. Of course, though, along the way, you meet several other characters, including Rocket and Groot, who are like genetically engineered, Raccoon and Tree, who are outlaws and bounty hunters and that. And then Gamora, who is a adopted daughter of Thanos. I don't really know her backstory, but she wants to betray Thanos and Ronan, who is his associate, who wants the Infinity Stone for himself. And then Drax, who is just someone whose family was killed by Ronan, and he wants revenge on him. Played by Dave Bautista. And then several other characters. There's a real big character fest, this movie. And that is really the main focus. The story is a byproduct to what is a fantastically written character story, with a very light-hearted tone, and with a great journey. I mean, you visit a load of planets in the movie, which, again, like what a lot of people were saying when the movie came out, it really did feel like 2014's version of A New Hope, and I can completely see where they're coming from with that. It's introducing a whole generation to these characters who are going to become legends. Well, not sure what Volume 2 will say about that. Volume 1 definitely sees them have potential to become legends in pop culture. And yeah, I can completely see that. It's so enjoyable. Like, that's the one word I'll say about Guardians of the Galaxy. Enjoyable. I mean, it doesn't take itself too seriously at all. I mean, it has moments where it gets a bit dark and whimsical, which are very good. But like Star Wars, it keeps it to, like, its tone to a really great viewing experience. And that's what I think the main thing about it is. It knows what a movie is. It's meant to be escapism, and you're meant to go on this journey with a load of characters you really like, and that's why I'll say the characters are all really likeable in their own right, and it's all really well written dialogue and really funny in that. And it's probably what makes it is what makes a good movie in my opinion. Like, movies don't all have to be the most well shot. They don't always have to be the darkest. They don't always have to have the most plot twists. They just have to be enjoyable and well written with very memorable characters and very memorable settings. And that is what Guardians of the Galaxy is. In my opinion, it is proof that movies are not like music. They can still make movies today that are good, unlike music. That, as well as the action scenes and all the space scenes, they're all really good, really exciting, and some of the visuals, well, even though I said it's not the most visual movie, some of the visuals they get are great. The fact they have old music as well just adds to it all, and not just the Suicide Squad cheap old music, like, not cheap, the good old music which everyone recognises. Now this one's got old music which you'd recognise but you wouldn't really know, if you know what I mean, so you can really listen to it and get into that sort of tone. The tone the movie sets at the beginning is such a good tone setting, and for the entire movie you're just on this journey with these characters you really like, and it's just so damn good. There's not another word to describe for it. And I mean, you can say problems. Yeah, I will say the villain Ronan is sort of forgettable, one of the few things about the movie that is, but don't trust what people say about him being completely forgettable, because one, he isn't. Two, he's a legitimate threat. I mean, at the end of it, you're really thinking, how are they going to get out of this one? And three, you have Nebula as well, who I personally really like her character depth and the dynamics of her and Gamora, and the fact it probably expand in Volume 2. It does leave itself open for a sequel, like A New Hope. It is literally the Monday version of A New Hope. You know what I think about A New Hope? Okay, fair enough. Not the exact... I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy isn't as strong. Probably, though. Very close. Very, very close. All spectacular, without the slightest shadow of a doubt. So that's been it for a really positive vlog, and I'll see you on Saturday.